informed Lord Vader. Kenobi is ours. He's on his way. You're gonna die soon.
You're not bringing him to me.
Nope.
I'm bringing him to you.
Yes.
The little angst from Kenobi.
I know.
You know, he wasn't having it at all. What is up, everybody?
We back.
It's your boy. You know what?
There we go.
I'm tired of you. Shut up. I'm talking now.
I'm gonna mute you right now. I'm gonna mute you right now. What is up, everybody? It is your boy. It's Con back at it.
We back
again, talking out of turn like always. It's friggin' Justin across the interwebs, of course, and sitting next to me, bromantically sharing the headphones.
Twinsies.
Yeah, and we don't share these, so you're gonna get an ear infection, or sanitize them. So I'm letting you know. It's like pink eye, but for your ear.
The casual kid, A.K. Jordan.
That's it. The Cantina Splicer, and sitting across from us virtually, I entered his cantina. Now he enters ours.
What's up, everybody?
Thank you for actually getting the cue, by the way, because like people are always like, "Do I do it now?" Yeah. Yeah. What is up, guys? Eban, the collector from the Spice Runners podcast, is with us tonight to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Guys,
look at him.
Do not know. I know.
Evan is fully branded right now.
I know. He's the wicked awesome shirt. I got one of ours in the mail for you, by the way.
Yeah, likewise, man.
Sweet.
Nice.
And what day are we doing Batu again?
I think it's going to be
9th
July.
or 7th?
Yeah, July 7th, I think. I'll let you know.
Crew. Yeah, Cantina crew heading out to Batu. Going to get some content with some other podcast guys. Be on the lookout for that. Of course, guys, Kenobi. You're going to what?
Go ahead. You're powering through the intro. Go for it.
I got it. I'm powering through it. Like the ship that Vader thought he grabbed is how fast I'm getting through this intro. Housekeeping, guys, of course, we're keeping it short because Kenobi was fire today.
Yes, it was.
And we need to get the fire extinguishers out right now and talk about it. Of course, all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook. The only place we are different is TikTok. So everywhere else is Con's Cantina, and then on TikTok it is Con's Cantina podcast.
There you go.
There it is. We did it that time.
We did it that time. Yeah, we got it right this time. Guys, of course, this episode is sponsored by our Patreons. Everybody over there. Dylan. Still KP.
Yeah.
Still King Patron. Bringing it in. Putting food on your table, Jordan.
I know, man.
You know, you're struggling. No, guys, thanks seriously for all your support. Of course, guys, there is exclusive content. Head over to patreon.com/conscantina, where you can pretty much just watch me rage about everything. I can't do that on, our regular show, but it is Con's Rage Corner.
You know what grinds Connor's gears?
Yeah, then head over to the Patreon and you'll find out. The agenda of this episode, guys, of course, we have a new guest, and you know what that means. We will be talking about Eban's Star Wars saga. And I don't know if you can tell by looking at what is behind him, but trust me, there is a saga that we are going to be hearing about. And, of course, episode 5 of Kenobi, arguably the best one yet.
Yes.
Can only possibly be trumped by the next episode. Potentially.
We'll have to see.
I mean, number 4 was the best, though. I had to.
Move on.
I know. I got to move on. Eban, sir, Star Wars is obviously very important to you as it is us. Take a moment and tell us about your Star Wars saga, where Star Wars started for you and what it means for you.
Let me take a drink real quick.
Oh, yeah. And then we're going to go into the cantina. Don't you worry.
Yes. So I'm sipping on a panty dropper, so it's going to get my brains flowing. Yeah, so my Star Wars story goes back to when I was a little kid. So I was born in 1977, May 1977. So
all right.
Wow.
The year of our movie, A New Hope.
I feel like you have an unfair advantage already. The year of our Lord Vader.
The year of our Lord Vader, yeah. So unfortunately, I didn't get to see The New Hope and Empire in the movies, but I did see Return of the Jedi as a kid. I was around 7 years old when that came out.
Dang,
and
awesome.
my dad actually liked watching these movies. He didn't know what he was watching at the time. He just thought it was something cool for us to go do. So I watched Return of the Jedi, and after that, I was like, oh, I want the toys. So as a kid, every time we went to like Kmart or whatever the stores were back then, we had these things called Zodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like I always like I'm like pointing at the toys. I'm like, I want that one, I want that one, I want that one. And then of course they always bought me the ones that were on clearance. So like the characters that they're probably the characters that are worth a lot of money now.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You got a
Like-
Wicket.
Yeah. Wicked, yeah. Like it's like Cara Dune. No one wanted Black Series Cara Dune forever, and then she
Like
skyrocketed.
$200. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man.
So yeah, so I started collecting, the action figures as a little kid, and of course, I collected other things. I collected GI Joes, but the Star Wars figures always beat the GI Joes. Eventually, when I turned 18, I joined the military, left my collection behind. My mom gave it all away. I was pissed.
Dang.
And she cleaned everything out. Like my GI Joes, my Star Wars. We had Captain Power. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that line.
Wow.
Mask. I had like all these toys from the 80s and all gone.
Rip.
So
She's like, he's lost to us. Give her to this crap. I need a
Yeah.
home gym.
pretty much.
Need a home gym. Yeah.
And then when I went to the military, when I first started getting freedom to go off base after training, I started hitting up like antique shops. And then I started buying like the figures again. I'm like, oh, there's this figure, a couple bucks. This figure, a couple bucks.
Oh, that's cool.
And then eventually, I had this like huge collection, and then I got married. So I put the collection away. It's always in cycles.
Yeah.
So I put my collection away, and I slowly started putting it out, after I got married.
Hey, I know that move.
Justin plays a Will Liz Notice this week game.
Yes.
Where a new figure gets added. Or a new hilt or something.
I still do that. But it's kind of hard to hide it in here now. Like coming home with a Han and Carbonite, I was like, how do you explain that one?
Yeah.
It's fine. I pre-ordered this a long time ago, babe. It's fine.
Yeah.
I used
Don't
to
worry about
exist
it.
all the time. Yeah.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
Yeah, but we were living in Texas. I think we got there in 2008. And that's when I started like taking the stuff out of the box, because I was like, oh, I got my collection here. I forgot all about this because it was in the garage in the previous house. From all the moves, you forget about what you have. And then I was more settled, and I started like putting figures out. They were in the bedroom, in the living room. Then my daughter got a little bit bigger. She started playing with them, and I was like, oh, I can take more out.
Okay.
Oh, you
I was
take
like,
more
a good
out.
one.
These
Yeah,
are
okay.
free toys.
Yeah.
Yep. And then like my wife started noticing, the bond, and she actually bought us more. She started enabling
Oh,
me.
there you go.
See, you did it smart. You got the kid involved.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Can't say no to the kid.
No.
Nope. And around the same time is when the Clone Wars started too. So we had, the cartoons, and had the toys, and my wife started buying the stuff, and she started like looking for auctions and like estate sales and buying stuff through those. And she bought the General Mills / Kenner 12-inch figures. She found all of them for a good price, and they were like almost new. And then that pretty much was the gateway for me going to like Sideshow. Because around the same time, around 2008, 2009 is when I started seeing the Sideshow figures at the toy shows there in Texas. And I was like, holy shit, these things look good. At the time, that was like, they look good. So I started doing my research, and then I bought like the Boba Fett from the Scum and Villainy line. That was like my third Sideshow 1/6 scale that I bought. And then I just started buying more, more and more.
Oh yeah,
and more.
it's a trap.
Yep.
It's an addiction.
Yeah.
Then around 20, let me see, I was in Virginia, so like 2013, I found out about Hot Toys. So I started graduating from, like action figures to Sideshow to Hot Toys. And then by 2015, I started like getting into the statues. And I was like, oh, look at this Darth Vader, Lord of the Sith statue. So I bought that statue, and then I bought a Han Solo statue, a Chewbacca statue, a Princess Leia statue.
Wow.
And then I collected that whole line except the Obi-Wan. And then I just been buying like statues. I got, I don't know, like 22 Star Wars statues, and I forgot about the master replica stuff that I got over there too, because that stuff is like comes and goes through the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And And I regret selling a lot of that stuff too, because I had a lot of it. Because back in the early 2000s, it was cheap.
Yeah.
Right.
You can get a lightsaber for the price you buy them at Disney parks today.
Yeah.
And now they're like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, depending on the
How
the edition
custom you
size
got.
of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the master replica FX sabers, like the Yoda one, is worth like $600 now, like with the
That's
box.
crazy.
Yeah, and it's like it's
It was
not a good
$150
saber.
all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah, Barnes and Nobles
It was
had it
cheap.
behind
Yeah.
the counter, and my mom wouldn't buy it for me.
Yeah.
Like maybe even $120 back in the early 2000s. Yeah, 2004 to 6
Yeah.
was master replica Force FX.
Yeah, yeah. Evan, so you've talked about your Star Wars saga, and it's gone around figures and collectibles. What keeps you in Star Wars right now? What keeps you collecting and getting these figures?
So
About Star Wars.
So like me, I'm a fan of art, and of course, the statues are an extension of art. These things are classy. You buy them, you look at them, you set up like a little museum style pose. You're not a pose, but like sections. Like you can see behind me, the Bestas with the
Display.
lighting,
Yeah.
the displaying. Because I got white Bestas, I got black Bestas back here for the bad ones, and then I come into this room and it's like my piece.
Your sanctuary, yeah.
It's my sanctuary, and like I take a look at like the original trilogy stuff, and I do have a little bit of prequel stuff and probably like 2 items from the sequels, but yeah, what keeps me collecting is just the joy it brings me, the memories when I was younger, didn't have any responsibilities, and I think for a lot of people it makes you feel like a kid again when you
Oh,
have
yeah.
this stuff.
Yeah.
And that's
And
what
what's-
keeps me connected.
What's your most custom? Like, have you commissioned something completely custom, one-off, nobody else is going to have?
Let's see, man. Oh yeah,
like,
I
what's
got
His Revan
Which
bust,
do I
too,
pick? I
Justin?
see that back. I see it peeping back
Yeah.
there. I was already eyeing it.
Yeah.
the Revan. Yeah, I actually made that one.
Yeah, that Revan.
Yes.
one's, sick.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like
starting-
6 foot tall.
I have a full Wicked Armor Revan outfit, and I've just started right now I just have it like on a mannequin head, but I want to get a mannequin and just fully statue him up.
No, that's awesome, man. Yeah, so the latest thing that I actually got commissioned that I really love is this Wampa that Joel Hazy made for me. So it's Joel Hazy and Son of Dangar Cash. I don't know if you guys heard of Cash.
Mm-hmm.
No, so these guys, they do custom 1/6 scale figures. In the custom world, they're pretty known. So Joe's actually become a friend of mine. Like the last year, or from last year 2021 to 22, and he actually hit me up to make a Wampa run on my show. But for the price, I was like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to push so many, because it was like $600 at the time, and I was like, you know what? I'll just buy one because I like a Wampa. I want to build a diorama because I have a Rancor and I'm building a diorama for the Rancor, so I want to do one for the Wampa. And he's like, oh, don't worry, I'll build you a diorama for that too.
Oh man.
So it goes
alright.
from a Wampa to a diorama, and then on top of it, he 3D printed like the head and the gloves and the boots for Luke for the Hot Toys version. He found the blueprint for that.
Like
So
it's
then he
hanging
has
upside
that
down.
thing. Yep, he has it hanging upside down in the diorama.
Nice.
That's
So
awesome.
and then he like 3D printed the skulls, like the whole scene from that Wampa scene in Empire. He like got it all down on a diorama,
All 1/6 scale too.
Dang.
all 1/6 scale. Yeah, and that Wampa's huge, man. It's like 18 inches tall. It's freaking ginormous.
See,
But
that's
amazing.
what
it's hanging
I
over
would-
there.
I want to get a resin printer just for statues because I feel like that's going to be my introduction into statues because I want to paint them. And
man.
resin is just the only way to go for that. Like just for the time investment, doing it on a regular 3D printer, it would be too much. But that's how I
Yeah.
want to get into the statues.
That's really cool, man.
Oh, yeah, and you can paint them and you can make them yours, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
and
thirsty.
the ST files too. Yeah, dude. I am too. It's
Yeah.
a great opportunity.
Enter the cantina.
We are a Cantina podcast, so we're gonna go into the Cantina right now.
Justina's Cantina, registered
Stop it.
trademark.
Stop it.
But remember, no droids.
Eban, I'm kicking it off to you, buddy.
So what am I drinking today? I have this thing called a panty dropper
Woo!
Sanford
from
Brewing.
Sanford Brewery.
That's not.
Yes,
that's what's up.
it is good stuff, man.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a
Good stuff.
Belgian Gold. To me, it's a little fruity. It tastes like, I don't know, bananas maybe. But it's 10%. Like one of these cans will make you feel really good. And
Man.
this is my second one.
Connor's favorite thing to do is go to SBC or Sanford Brewing Company and enjoy dinner.
Heck
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a great pastime.
I love that place, man.
I do too, but Connor's had a bad run where every time we go there, it happens to be some event,
Dude,
and they have a very
it's
small
so
kitchen.
Much more than that. It's so
Oh,
much more
no.
than that.
You have 5 seconds to rant.
All right,
Go.
5 seconds. Every time I go there, I order a beer, it's out. Then I order another beer, it's out too. Then I ask my third beer, it's also out. Then I order a burger. 14 hours later, I get that. I don't get the beer that I wanted, and I get the guest tap that they had when I could have gotten that guest tap across the street and food 3 hours earlier.
Time.
There it is.
That's
Anyway,
not 5
no.
seconds.
But
You,
what I
you
will
need
say
to try it again.
is no, I want. Is it like a Heffenweisen? Because usually that's what people say about Heffenweisens is like a banana.
This is a Belgian Gold. So
Belgian Gold.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Leffy. Have you ever had a Leffy?
Yep.
Have I had a Leffy, George? Or
It's
Justin?
it's a German beer. It's that you'd know the label if you saw it. You would know it, like you've seen it 1,000
Yeah, okay.
times.
It looks like Old English almost. Letters
Yeah.
with the L,
Yeah, yeah,
E,
yeah,
F, F, E.
Yeah.
yeah.
SBC
So how
also one of
many-
my. Oh yeah,
Go ahead.
get a
Go,
rating.
go. Yeah.
I was
rating.
saying-
How many hidden Jedi, Eban?
What's the max?
10.
10. How many hidden Jedi are risking their lives for this beer?
At least 8.
Oh, all right.
It's
I'd agree
good.
with that for a panty dropper. My other favorite SBC beer is Prince Cannon.
Oh,
It's
nice.
another strong high ABV. I believe it's a Belgian quad if I remember correctly. I can't
Yeah.
remember, but that's a
it is.
fantastic beer. Visit
I love me a
SBC Sanford
Belgian
Brewing
quad.
Company if you guys are in Central Florida. It's good. They got 2 locations now.
Fantastic, man.
Just make 2 hours, 3 hours if you're going to have dinner.
Yeah. It will take a little bit. It will take a little bit. Dude, I'm sorry, guys, but I've been on an old-fashioned kick. I apologize. Usually, I mix it up more, but I am doing 1792 single barrel for my old fashions tonight. Yeah, single barrel is
Better than the small batch.
it is definitely better than the small batch. Not a huge fan of 1792, if I'm going to be honest. But what is interesting about this Kentucky bourbon is it's really oaky on the back end, but when you smell it, it's not like I get like no oak at all.
No, it's
Like,
very, very subtle.
I think of Woodford, and Woodford like very, very woody, very, very
Yeah.
smoky, and it also tastes like it. But the 1792, maybe it's because it's low alcohol,
yeah, that's probably it.
but it still smells so acetone up front. I'm not really sure why. Not my favorite straight sipper. Definitely something you should have on the shelf. Price point when I got this one was about $34.99.
not
COVID
bad.
prices, I'm sure it's above 40 at this point.
Yeah.
But I am doing old fashions, guys. You know my old fashions is 2 shots of bourbon, and then I have half a teaspoon of homemade simple syrup and 2 dashes of bitters. And I love my old fashions.
No,
So
really?
I'm going.
You've had it for 3 episodes
I'm
in a
going
row?
10 out of 10 hidden Jedi.
Nice.
Dying for the old fashioned. Okay.
1792's foolproof is fantastic if you can find that.
Oh,
that is
Very,
a
very
worth the
much.
pickup.
Yeah. Yes,
Yep.
for sure. The alcohol, because it does have that upfront oak taste, but then it's sweet on the back end and it has a good burn. But the single barrel, if I was to rate just the single barrel, straight, I don't know, like 6 out of 10.
Yeah, that sounds about
A
right.
little bit above middle of the road for it, but I think it's a staple to have on the shelf because it's a good intro bourbon if somebody doesn't like something harsh.
Yes.
It has good flavor and it's low on the harshness. So
Yeah, that's a great way to describe it. Justin, what are you drinking?
I'm double fisting it. I have some of my Infinity bottle and then a draft Amberbach from my kegerator.
Oh, of
But
course.
Nice.
that's my cleanser. It's my palate cleanser. But my Infinity bottle is hitting pretty good right now. I think
Nice.
the last two big things I put into it, Jordan, you found me a bottle of Makers that I just did as like a mixer, easy drinker. And then I'm looking at my shelf right now. I'm trying to remember the last 3 or 4 things that I've topped off my infinity bottle with, and it's nothing really that special. There was some E.H. Taylor in there. There's some
Dang,
Wild
you put
Turkey
E.H.
101.
Taylor?
Dude, I put the first and last pour of every bottle into my
Oh
infinity
yeah,
bottle.
yeah.
That's
I do
So
last.
I crack
not
some-
first.
Same.
I crack something open as long as it's gonna mesh. It's not. I'm not gonna throw a rye in there or something.
Yeah.
But the first pour and the last pour of my bottle always goes into my infinity bottle, and it's delicious right now. It's very unique. It's got a very sweet upfront taste, but then like a slow little heat build up as you like finishes on your tongue. I'm really enjoying it. And
Evan,
then
if
of course,
you don't have an infinity bottle,
Absolutely.
you
I
gotta do
don't.
it, bro. You gotta
you
do
gotta
it.
start it.
You gotta start it. Get,
ever
like,
changing,
just-
it's delicious.
Just get a bottle that you think is cool, you like whatever it looks like, and I do the last bit of the bottle. Justin does the first and last bit, but you just keep adding to it, and it just never ends. It's just ever changing
New flavors.
tapestry of bourbon. It's
Nice.
awesome. Yeah.
Never thought about that.
Yep.
How many,
and then I got. I think the infinity bottle is hitting at a 9 right now. It's really smooth. It's really good. And then just you can't like these amber box are so good on draft. It's never too much. It's never over the top. It's just like a nice smooth easy drinking beer, and on draft it's delicious. And keg is only $46.99. So it's
Yeah,
a fantastic
cheap.
deal.
It's the only reason I go to your house now. I'm drinking the Knob Creek 9-year 100 proof. This stuff is so good. I will say it has the harsh flavor, but after you've had long days like we all have recently, something harsh that is super alcohol-y is so comforting. So this for me is definitely it's a 7. It's a solid 7 for me. I love this alcohol. I love Knob Creek.
Knob
so
Creek
much.
used to be my daily sipper. Knob Creek is great because you can always find it, and I think the Knob Creek rye is super slept on.
Yes.
As a rye.
Oh yeah.
Especially for its availability, it's very, very good.
Yeah. Yeah. Solid.
Guys,
And ABC loves to have a
Yes.
ABC barrel pick or whatever of
Yep.
Knob Creek that is relatively easy to find. That's worth grabbing, and it's the exact same cost as a regular bottle, which is cool.
Yeah.
guys, let's talk about Kenobi, episode 5.
Hello there.
Let's dance.
Hey,
about
we're
Kenobi.
getting to it. Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it.
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Well, I hope it doesn't take too long.
Guys, when I tell you, we needed a
The
banger.
bounce back. It was a bounce back.
We needed the banger.
Man.
Go head over to the Spice Runners Lounge. We got it updated. The mouse tried to take us down, Eban.
Yeah, the mouse.
The
I
mouse
had never
tried-
seen that before, man.
The mouse tried to take. We were making too much sense. They're like, you'd be right.
Dude, I was so
The
pissed.
show. Yeah. And we were making too much sense, but we talked about episode 4, and episode 4, no need to rehash it, was divisive at best. But this episode, real quickly, guys, I'm gonna give this episode, and I'm phrasing this episode, mind you. None of these episodes are named. One thing that we enjoyed as a podcast with Mandalorian was finding a quote and making it the episode name, but they also gave episode names. We don't have episode names for Kenobi, and I am labeling this episode Pathfinder. So,
Like
Pathfinders.
Nissan.
Yes. Nissan.
This episode sponsored by
This episode is
Nissan.
sponsored by Nissan. Everywhere it takes you. I don't know if that's their logo. It's
They've
just
already
like a-
sponsored Rogue One. Now they're
Yes.
sponsoring this episode.
Volkswagen sponsored the Kenobi show. Forgot about that. But Pathfinders, guys, I'm going to give this episode a 9 out of 10.
Ooh, I'm
9 out of 10.
Wow, it's
Yeah,
gone
9
up
out of
from
10.
this morning.
Yep, 9 out of 10.
Wow.
I
Your
I
second-
watched it.
Your second watch through bumped it.
Second watch bumped it. Yep.
I'm gonna get. I guess I got to give it a 9 as well. I mean, there's so few things about this episode that I can even nitpick.
Yeah.
They did such a good job with it. Yeah, nine seems incredibly fair.
What about you?
I
Evan?
gotta.
Or Justin.
Nope, not Justin. Evan.
No,
So,
Evan's
yeah,
way more important.
No, you guys are good. No, I'm with you guys. This freaking episode was solid, man.
Yeah.
Anytime they have Vader on the screen, dude, I love it. It's an automatic 9 for me. You know, well, we probably talk about the episode a little bit more later, but man,
Oh yeah.
just his presence and what he did. That's
Yeah.
the Vader that we've been missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
9 out of 10.
I think I'm gonna be just 1 point lower. I'm gonna do a tick lower, 8 out of 10. I think it was a 1 tick on the scale lower, just because I think the next episode. If the next episode is just a banger, I want to have space for a 9 or a 10 that it is better than this episode for that reason. This episode gave me everything I wanted, though. Like, I had, first of all, like a whole bunch of new hilts that I need to pause and look at and
yes.
obsess over and see if it's somebody I know or if these are just cool new designs.
Can we say Quinlan's dead now? He didn't
I
show
think
up.
so.
I think
so.
he's dead.
Yeah.
We also got an amazing 40-year-old version of Anakin Skywalker version.
The flashback, yeah.
Did you say virgin?
Yes.
Yeah, Anakin's 40-year-old version.
Yes.
I guess technically he
gotcha.
wouldn't be. I guess
Would be.
he is with child. But
Well,
No.
not yet. Well, anyway, yeah.
oh yeah, he still got his Padawan braid. Yeah, he's the oldest Padawan ever.
Yeah, oldest
This is
Padawan
also
ever.
this also
Your cosplay.
this sparked the change in my cosplay. So Evan, you saw my Jedi outfit when we were at Comic-Con.
did.
So now I'm gonna old man wrinkle draw my face. I'm gonna do the Padawan braid and I'm gonna powder my hair so it's the oldest Padawan.
Oldest Padawan ever.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love it.
Guys, let's get into this episode. You already know we are going to do the play-by-play. I will tell you that there is a scene in this episode that I am going to play. It is going to take a couple of minutes, but I think this is some of the best dialogue, and it is Moses Ingram's best acting. It begs the question, is it writing? Was it her acting? But it absolutely blew me away, and there are some great talking points that we will get to, but of course, into the recap we go. Eban, of course, at any given point in time, you have a point. Completely interrupt me and start talking, and I will shut up.
Sweet.
Anakin and Obi-Wan fight in the temple on Coruscant. Before they can start the duel, however, we pan aboard Vader's flagship, begging the question, is who is thinking about this, Anakin or Vader? Reva approaches Vader. She reveals that Kenobi is on Jabim. Obi-Wan and the others land safely on the planet Jabim. Surrounded by others who have used the path, Roken assures the survivors that they will be leaving soon.
I don't want to bring up the last episode too many times, but where were all these people? Why weren't they there in the previous episode?
I think
Why-
they were hidden out waiting.
Maybe
They were on Jabim.
That might.
They
be
said
the
they had been there
case.
for months.
Justin,
Right.
you are yelling into the microphone.
Yes, you
Pull it back a little. Pull the microphone back a little bit. No, like
No,
actually.
I must be heard.
You were doing.
Calm down. But I'm just going to go ahead and get this point out of the way.
Yes.
There were so many.
First, no, it's not.
Don't spit on the equipment. Don't
I'm
spit on the
trying not
equipment.
to.
I still got
Saved
it.
it.
Even
Still
when
got
I'm
it.
not in studio, I still got it.
No, just I want to go ahead and get this point out of the way. There were so many things that they did in this episode that I wish they would have done in the last one. When it comes to the storytelling, the setting up of everything, explanations, these were all points I had problems with in the last episode, and they addressed them all in this one. But seeing all the people there, filling the area, and feeling the tension, that was fantastic in this first scene.
The thing.
Did you
the
guys-
thing too? Oh, go ahead, Justin.
I said, did you guys expect to see like Camille again?
No, loved that we saw Hodge.
Yeah. I couldn't think of his character name, but like, yeah, I loved seeing him again and kind of like, because we got like the vibe like he was a good guy who was just trying to
Yeah.
make a buck in what was that, I guess the second episode in chapter 2, and it was awesome to see kind of like his journey, and like now he's like, oh, I guess I know what it's like to be a Jedi. But I'm glad we saw him, and it wasn't just like a cameo in one episode and gone.
And
They made him they made him a piece of the puzzle now too, since he dropped
Yes.
hollow cord or whatever it's called. Yeah,
Yeah, the communicator.
the communicator. Yeah.
The problem with episode 4 leading into episode 5, and Justin, we brought this up with Bad Batch, is if we skip episode 4, I feel that we are still exactly where we are in episode 5.
Yeah.
So you could literally
the
not
only
watch.
thing was the tracker. That was it. The tracker on Lola. That was almost the entire point of that episode was to create a plot point.
And the thing about it is, they had Leia and Lola for the entire second episode. Mm-hmm. So it could have happened in episode 2.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. It was great to see Haja, and it proves again that we can have a Star Wars sitcom. Give it to me. I want people doing just the funniest, mundane things in a Star Wars setting, and it could be funny and it could work. We have so many SNL people and comedic
Comedy.
relief
I can't
in Star Wars
like,
now.
give me Taika's new series. Like that's all I want right now.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The quote about his new movie, super exciting. Saying
Yeah.
that he is sticking far away from Skywalkers.
Love it.
I didn't mean to derail it, but yeah, like
No, I
this
I
is
love
what we
it.
need.
Super
Yeah.
excited. Yeah, super excited. Back to the recap. Vader aboard his flagship approaches Jabim. Quote, lock down the planet. Very Empire vibes for me, by the way. Reminds me of the rebel assault on Hoth, coming out of hyperspace. He is as clumsy as he is stupid. It was just so cool. Again, getting to where we're going. The Empire is constantly following. Something that we see a lot in Star Wars, but I feel like it wasn't overdone for this episode. Obi-Wan finds another wall with writing on it, like we saw in episode 3. Those who have
Yes.
used the path. Now, I tried to check. Oh, what was that?
He's reading the
reading
the path.
I tried to, like when episode 3 came out, Twitter erupted and people were like, oh, this is this. Like the translators came out of the woodwork. I didn't see any of that today.
So I found a few.
Okay, sweet.
Okay.
So one of the names that is in Orobesh that is there is Corwin Shelve.
Okay.
Shelve appeared in a RPG in the 90s. I'm one of the oh my god, like Dungeons and Dragons paperback book, like playing RPGs, not like not a video game.
That is
That's a-
deep
Yeah.
deep
Yeah, it
cut.
is.
Shout
Yeah.
outs to D20 players.
Yeah, so I'm gonna read a little blurb that I just looked up
Legacy
on it.
of the Empire? Is that what the paperbacks are called?
Classic West End RPG. Let's see, the NPC and Galaxy Guide 9 supplement of the classic West End RPG in the 90s.
Jeez.
Oh, that's all it says. It doesn't
Yeah,
say
so
because there's
it says
different.
that Shelve was a trained Jedi after the Purge, learning the ways from the Force from a Sullustan Jedi master named Darren Arakian, who was hiding out as a tutor in a university, and then a whole bunch of little things. But it had some contact with Kyle Katarn. Give me more of that.
Give me
Yes.
Kyle.
Yeah, it's
Give me
like
Kyle.
that. And then we also have Tiberius Anderlock. It's another Legends deep cut. This was carved into the wall. He was a Jedi pilot from the online game Star Wars Galaxies, my favorite game
whoop.
of Star
Let's
Wars
go.
ever made.
Let's go.
And then Drake
What a sick
Logan?
name, by the way.
What?
Tiberius Anderlock.
yeah.
Like that is so Star Wars. Love it.
And then Drake Logan, who is from the Clone Wars web comic. So it's cool. It's like some EU stuff. It's some canon stuff. We also
Nice.
have a credited name of somebody named Corrin for the second time, which would be fantastic
Not
if we
Corn
get a.
Horn?
It's just
or maybe
first
it's Corrin.
One of
who's
the
also been
kid.
there.
It's a kid. There's a the child named Corrin.
Yeah.
First name credited only. Like we don't see a horn, but that would be amazing if we get a Corrin horn tie-in and a whole Rogue Squadron situation.
And I think these characters are so important because somebody like Eban, somebody like us, we played these games on N64. We know who Kyle is. We know who Rendar is.
Yeah.
And it's cool because these characters they have enough of their own story to stand on their own 2 feet, and they can dabble in Skywalker.
Yeah.
They don't have to be surrounded by the legacy of the Force story, and we can
Right.
still get new Star Wars surrounding the timeline that we know. And that's why I think Mandalorian is so successful.
Yeah.
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 You know, so hopefully we get more of these characters. Hopefully these aren't just names.
What it'd be awesome, like we got the little oh my gosh, why am I having a complete blank in the Rise of the Skywalker visual?
Yes, visual dictionary. We got a lot of Sith that have been brought back into canon.
I'm literally Darth Revan. I'm staring at his mask and both of his legs.
Yes, we got Revan,
But
we got Adiadu, we got a lot of EU Sith that have been brought into canon.
Yeah, brought back, and then now we're getting a lot of info teased about them coming back more. It would be awesome if these little pieces and little puzzle pieces that they're sprinkling right now are going to be building blocks that they bring this stuff in the future, whether it's novels, comics, screen, doesn't matter to me. Just reinstitute them back into canon. It'd be awesome.
Yes. We need some Old Republic, man.
For sure.
Yeah.
I want to see that on the big screen.
I agree. Totally agree. Back to the recap. Lola, with her new restraining bolt, is acting on her new programming. By slicing through cables, she closes the ship hatch doors.
Evil Lola.
Evil Lola. Roken tells the survivors that the Empire, a Star Destroyer, has come out of hyperspace above the system. Quote from Obi-Wan, "He will have no patience for a siege. We are treated with everything that we possibly could have asked for by continuing the duel in the flashback of Padawan Anakin and Master Kenobi at the Jedi Temple."
So, in this flashback, would you have preferred them to do the Luke Skywalker treatment where they de-age him, or do you prefer it's just Ewan and Hayden with some makeup and some wigs? Which way do you like it? For me,
I'll let
what
Evan go first.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, you say me go first?
Yeah, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, so honestly, I think the deep fake would have been a lot nicer. Seeing old Padawan kind of it threw me off a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. But did I enjoy the scene? Hell yeah! You know, it was cool seeing him in that flashback doing that training because it came back towards the end because he knows Anakin's moves and how he's gonna react. So he already like foreshadowed, you know, like what was gonna come. So it was a good scene. What it could have been better, yeah. And, you know, me preferably, I would have liked to see the deep fake.
I think Ewan looked amazing. I think his Jesus wig that they put back on him.
Yes.
But I think that was still his hair because on my second watch,
Nah, no way,
dude. No, I'm telling you though, look in the second watch, and this dude went from having long hair in all the episodes to this episode going straight back to the Attack of the Clones mullet, and we've seen that Leia's outfits are mirroring other Leia outfits per the movie, and I think that it was completely done on purpose that his hair was the same. It's just me. I could be wrong. It could be a wig. Continue, Justin. I'm sorry.
No, I think that Ewan looked great. I think also with the beard, it's able to hide some of the 20-year time gap, 15-year time gap, depending on which movie we pick. But I think all in all, he looked great. Hayden, I would have rather have deep faked because it just. I mean, it was great, but there was just something off-putting, like kind of like kind of took you. It pulled you out of the nostalgia vibe, and you're like, wait a second, this looks a little weird.
You know, I initially thought that as well, but then I remember the backlash of Mandalorian, the end of Mandalorian season 2, with how Luke Skywalker looked with the deep fake. It was good, but there was so much dislike of how fake he looked. And I know that the technology has come forward and everything. I think it was a smarter choice to just let it rock than try to do the technology to make it look right than you know, just letting him be old Padawan.
I think that he would have looked better with the long hair, like in Revenge of the Sith. But
Oh, yeah.
the
That
lesson
doesn't
would-
match the time.
the lesson and the writing would not have hit. I think that
Yeah.
this is one of the times where the writing in the show really, really shined.
Yeah.
It made a lot of sense. It was great parallels of we don't know who's remembering this. Is it Anakin remembering this? Is it Obi-Wan remembering this? Is it Vader remembering it? Like whose memory are we in? And it was like a flashback again that we didn't know who was reminiscing over it. And it was just really good. So
I
think
love
Go
that
ahead.
you brought that point out. Like, I did not think of that, and I love that you brought that out. Like, that's a great, because even by the end of it, I think we kind of are all assuming it's Obi-Wan, because it's kind of how he figures out
See,
what
I love
to do
this
and how to.
because I feel that by the end of it, it's Vader.
Okay.
And I kind of feel like it was both. The way each time the flashback stopped, it was on who was thinking about it. So, Anakin is overpowering Obi-Wan. That's what he's thinking about. And then it cuts to Obi-Wan, and he's like, wait a minute. He overpowered me previous. I got past this. And they just had such a great back and forth.
Yeah.
Maybe they were a dyad in the Force, and they were both remembering the same thing.
So we're gonna get to something like that. We do need to get to the recap though.
Yeah.
We are treated to the flashback scene. Obi-Wan back on Jabim. So it's keeping track with the recap, guys. I'm gonna say Obi and Vader back on Jabim. That's how we know we're out of the
Flashback.
flashback, yeah, because it can get a little confusing. Back on Jabim, Obi-Wan immediately lays out his plan, again showing that the writing in the show has progressed at this point. We already get the foreshadowing. Obi-Wan already knows what he's going to do, therefore also confusing us as the audience of who is remembering this flashback. What is his plan? Stall. Why? Because before they know it, they will be gone. Vader and the Empire launch their attack on the planet Jabim. With Reva as the lead, they set up a heavy gun and they begin the barrage on the door. Haja, of course, with his sass that we've come to love, is completely unimpressed by the attempts for Roken to open the hangar doors. Leia springs into action, the smartest 10-year-old by far we have ever known, loved, and seen in cinema. She immediately asks for a ladder based on the advice given by Haja to check the vents where the controls to the hangar door lie. Obi-Wan is contacted by Bail. Bail speaks of the children. His fear? Vader already knows. If he doesn't hear from Ben, he will then head to Tatooine.
Is it a little weird that he gave up on his daughter super quick? He's like, well, she's gone. I'm gonna go to Tatooine and get a boy now.
Well, yeah. Well, we've had the girl. Now we want to raise a boy. But
Another.
I'll have another. No, he says very. He says I know. We said no contact, which has not been Bail's strong suit in this show.
He literally has done nothing
No
but
boundaries.
contact.
Yeah.
Literally
Right.
walked into a dude's house.
Yeah.
Cave.
Walked into the cave. Yeah, no boundaries. This is cool because this is a plot point that a lot of people are like, oh, this show's breaking canon. Because they're like, there's no way Bail would have had to send for Leia if he had this direct line to Obi-Wan. And by the end of the show, we see that Obi-Wan no longer has this communicator. And because we don't have a vast knowledge of how communicators work in Star Wars, we're assuming that this is a Nextel walkie-talkie that only goes to one channel, and they're paired together like two-way walkie-talkies.
Yeah,
Right?
this is a two-way from the 1997.
Yeah. What about
two-way
you, Evan?
a two-way
How did you-
pager.
How'd you feel? I love Bail in this series. What
Yeah.
about you?
I like Bail Organa. I think it's a good character for the era we're in. I think him communicating did screw things up, of course, and that's another plot point they added, right? But the message was broken. So do we know if Reva is gonna be able to decipher it? The future already tells us she probably didn't.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think I don't think it was needed. I don't think you needed to communicate because if Obi-Wan is supposed to be undercover and trying to hide from the Empire to get Leia, he's over here risking them. He's over here communicating, exposing them. Yep, and discovering, and then talking about having the kid and Luke and Tatooine. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
That was the only thing I thought it was dumb, but
you're correct. It felt kind of unnecessary at first, but then as I watched it and listened to the message that he had, it was, I don't know if I should still have hope here. I'm going to go to Tatooine and see what I can do for the boy. It raised the stakes and put pressure on Obi-Wan to make sure that he came through on this. That was the message that I got, and it just made things even more intense for the episode for me.
It raises the stakes too because it's obvious that the Empire through Reva knows that Bail has a connection to Kenobi.
Yeah.
So the next logical jump is they took the girl. Now that they figure out, maybe they figure out about the boy.
Yeah.
Which they're separated at birth, so they shouldn't, but Bail is not taking the chance.
And the underlying current of we can't let Vader, Anakin know about the kids.
Yeah.
That was the other thing that was brought out that immediately I was like, "Ooh, he makes a good point." Okay. Yeah, that's a big problem.
Yeah, I just don't understand why it took them 10 years to do this, though.
little bit long, but
Yeah.
we finally get there.
I mean, it wasn't a problem until now.
Yeah,
So.
to be fair, yeah.
Right.
Back to the recap. Tala gives us her touching story on why she keeps pushing people through the path. Removing her DL-44 from her holster, we see slashes on the leather showing how many people she has pushed
Easy
through
for you to say.
the path. Dude, I didn't catch this until my second watch, and I thought it was really cool seeing the marks on her holster. Like, it reminds me of this last Mando cosplay that I did. Like, I added like the kill stripes, and it's just like more to like my fictional character, and she's just an MVP for me in this show. Her acting was fantastic. Her storyline's fantastic. It's something that you and me, Justin, have clamored for, is these turncoat empires or turncoat rebels, whatever you want to call it, just more people living in the universe in what they're going through.
I'm gonna
Her
have
death
to.
was fantastic, man.
I'm gonna have to call you out, Connor.
What?
This morning, I received an all caps followed by like 10 exclamation points. I don't care about Reva.
I'm not talking about Reva.
No,
Talking about Tula.
Oh, Tula, sorry.
Tala, yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Jeez, this guy. This guy.
Her death was fantastic, though. The cinematic they did on her, and she got killed, and then the robot Ned just went and covered her.
Yeah, man.
That was awesome, man.
A lot of theories about the robot being somebody in the robot, like pretending to be a robot.
Yeah.
A lot of a ton of people were saying Wrecker. People were because when you look at the loader in episode 3, like even like the thigh plates, like it doesn't look. It looks like and the hammer. It looks like a person.
And also it was at the very beginning of the episode when they get off of the ship. She runs up to him and is like
and embraces
up to
him.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It was a weird moment that I noticed. I was like, that's strange.
You wouldn't do that with a droid. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Anakin's like that with R2 though.
True.
Yeah.
The heavy gun is
I like that
more
idea, though.
effective. What, doing it with a droid?
Lando did it in Solo, didn't he?
Yeah, true.
Don't bring up L3.
Don't bring up L3. The heavy gun is more effective than anticipated. Obi-Wan wants to talk to Reva. Why? To buy time. And then this is the part of the episode that I was telling you guys about. I have to play this part in particular. Again, this is Obi-Wan approaching Reva. Now, I don't know if I have the exact sound effect as Obi-Wan goes to the door, but if we think of Star Wars and big heavy blaster doors, you shouldn't be able to talk to them, right?
No.
Like, you can't talk through them.
Yeah, but they're
Right.
kind of blasted into pieces and like.
But
I would
hang on,
imagine it's not sealed.
Notice this audible cue. You're gonna hear a very, very dense bass sound, and I do believe that Obi is literally using the Force so that they can hear each other, almost on a channel, if you will.
I was going to say the same thing.
There.
Hello there.
If this is you stalling for time, it won't work. Lord Vader will have you at any cost.
You mean Anakin? You
Whoa.
knew who Vader was. Back on Daiu, how did you know that? Vader would have kept that hidden.
I love how
You were
even
too
he knows
young
that.
to have known him. Unless... Unless you were there.
there.
It doesn't matter where I was.
The night of Order 66, you were a youngling. That's how you knew. You saw him.
Stop.
Anakin killed the others.
That's enough.
He killed the other younglings,
Enough.
but somehow you...
Enough!
Oh, that's so good.
Don't bring it up.
Her facial expressions, the talking between the two, everything between these scenes, and of course the flashbacks help. But even without the flashbacks, I think that Moses Ingram could have stood on her own in this scene. The way that her voice is giving an inflection and her facial expressions. This is by far my favorite part of the show so far.
It validates her entire character.
Yeah.
And
Right.
you know,
It's her troubles. Yep.
we and this is what we've been waiting for. Her character has been this scared child the entire time, and even the way she acts. And now we see why. It was very well done.
Like one of my favorite things so far with this has been broken Obi-Wan. Like just how broken his disconnect from the Force, and this is almost like a mirror opposite where like he went one way, she went the other. She like leaned in, she was just as broken, but then she leaned in and tried to get an inside track to get her revenge, whereas Obi-Wan hid and disassociated himself from everything. Like I love like these two opposites.
She goes on to really in graphic detail, and it's crazy because we actually get a visual warning before this episode started saying basically viewer discretion is advised. You may find some things you see disturbing.
I don't think we've gotten that since the first episode, right? It was only
No.
This was
the
a
first
very-
episode and this.
Yeah.
Because the first episode we got it, and then now this one, yeah.
Yeah, the first one they added it right after the shooting. That's why the
Yeah.
Uvalde shooting.
I would assume for this one too, unfortunately,
Callback.
anything that are involved with the children, obviously,
Right.
best in their interest to put a viewer discretion, and Disney not holding back in the scene. You know, we literally see Vader again attacking children during Order 66. Reva talking about hiding among the bodies, being stabbed by Anakin himself, and feeling the only family she knew go cold.
Yeah.
You know, talking about
That
the
was
younglings.
a deep freaking like line.
Hell
Like that
yeah.
was, God, that was a crazy. And I'm glad to see that Disney, like even in light of the recent events, like they're at least staying true to what the vision of this show was supposed to be. Because I mean, the younglings being slaughtered, it's not a new thing. Like this has been since Revenge of the Sith. So we're going on like what 18 years. Like this is not like a new thing, and the timing was just it was horrific. Like the timing of that event and then this coming out for them to like be simultaneous. Almost.
Jinx, you owe me
But okay, I'll get you a bourbon.
thank you.
Bourbon and Coke.
Bourbon Coke.
But I'm glad to see, because you know one of the biggest fears is like we're going to Mickeyfy everything Star Wars. So I'm glad to see they didn't pull back. I'm assuming there could have been more. I don't know, but at least like they stayed true to what this was and gave you the warning and didn't edit all this out after the fact.
Yeah.
It's something that people can identify with Reva for. You know, a lot of people have had.
You needed a
trauma.
connection. Yeah.
You needed a connection, and seeing real trauma with Reva, other people as us as the audience, the avatars, can latch on to what she went through as a child, attach it to trauma that maybe we had, whether it's home problems, whatever the case may be. It gives us something to associate us with her and her struggle, and so it is very nice to see that they did not take that out because it's obviously so crucial to her character. And let's be honest, we all called it. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And we liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the opposites of Obi-Wan and her, who basically experienced the same thing. Like, that event was extremely traumatic for both of them. One being a child, one being your child, basically, like, as Obi-Wan to Anakin, seeing that happen, and just how they both react. Like, Obi-Wan didn't need to disconnect from the Force when he was on Tatooine. He didn't need to struggle to move, like, a tablet in the one episode, be horrible with using a lightsaber, and have to reconnect, whereas she was the one that just kind of just took the complete opposite. So it's awesome character building, and who would have, like, that's been the big complaint for a lot of the people, is there's no character building in this. Finally, now in this episode, there was like a lot of building blocks set up that now make sense.
Yeah. 3 minutes. It took 3 minutes for them to explain all of that and change our minds about Reva and her character. It's amazing.
Obi-Wan hesitates when the question is asked. Do you want Anakin dead? You won't stop him alone, said Obi-Wan. Igniting her saber, Reva cuts through the blast doors. Troopers fall, Pathfinders fall, blaster fire is exchanged.
It did raise the question of why didn't she do that a long time ago?
Nah.
Like that, I was like, that was easy. She's like,
don't. We just went through a whole explanation as to why she did it, and you're trying to undo the whole
But when
thing.
I saw how easy she just stabbed it through and lifted it up, I was like,
What
oh,
do we
they
need
should have
the
done that a
heavy
while
gun
ago.
for? Yeah. What do we need the heavy gun?
Heavy gun made it weak. Let's move on.
There you
Heavy
go.
gun. Yeah, heavy gun helped. Heavy gun helped.
I loosened it up.
Haja back again on screen. Hope we continue to see him, and he lives. So, you know, there's some hope. Reminds Leia that she is looking for a red breaker. Of course, in sassy remark, Leia reminds him that she knows exactly what she is doing. Dude, if I have a kid, I hope she's as smart as...
I don't. She's going to be breaking out of your house every day.
True. What about you, Evan? You want a kid this smart, and you're like, nah.
I already have one.
Yeah, there you go.
She
Exactly.
reminds me a lot of my daughter when she was
Yeah.
that age. Yeah. My daughter's turning 17 tomorrow. And
Hey, my daughter turns 16 on the 8th.
nice. Yeah, so she
That's
was
too much.
sassy like
It's the
that
worst
and like
age.
self-sufficient.
Yeah.
So like me, I can see this being real because I had a kid exactly like that. I can do it, Dad. Leave me alone. I'm like, what?
Back to the recap. Tala and her droid fight. Why? To hold off the Empire, allowing the rest of the Pathfinders and Kenobi to escape. The loader droid goes full Goku and WWE by punching all the stormtroopers.
And his name is John Cena!
Dude, he was just like boom, boom, boom.
Hell yeah.
Like, loved it.
Lift up.
Dude, yeah, the like the into the ceiling, just it was
best.
fantastic. Yeah, it was really, really good.
At this
Tala.
point, I knew for sure. I'm like, oh no, she's dead.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
this is
We're
gonna
wrapping
be like
this
her
up.
sacrificial moment. Like,
Yeah.
this ain't gonna
Bye-bye,
be a
Drake.
good ending.
But this is, we're an hour in, so we have no more time for rants. But I'm going on one more. Star Wars is suffering from people not dying right now,
Well,
and obviously we're gonna get to Tala making her sacrifice. But it's nice. This had an emotional
Rogue One-y.
hit for me.
yes.
It was Rogue One-y.
Yes.
For sure.
Yep.
And when I watched it my second time, my wife Natasha sat down and she watched it, and she said she got emotional.
Yeah.
Seeing Tala and the droid go. Why droids have such an
Oh,
effect
yeah.
on us in Star Wars?
Because I think we think of them almost as pets. So like you kind of
Yeah.
think of like it was a very like the dog sacrificing itself to like protect the owner. Like I think that's the vibe that it gives you.
Yeah.
Like it's your loyal best friend that is going to be side by side till the end.
Yeah, I saw it this morning. I was like, damn, she freaking died. But we knew it was going to come eventually.
Yeah.
The slow motion kill.
Human
try to protect
shielder.
him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was
and
dope.
I wish we would have gotten a name because I don't believe we did. I think we only got
If it-
loader droid.
Yeah.
I think it was,
that was the
they
only-
call him Ned.
Ned.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I missed that. So
Yeah,
she
I watch everything in
Ned?
subtitles. Yeah, so and I think in
I
the
can't
second
read, so.
episode, which was the episode they first showed him? The second episode, maybe, or the third?
Episode 3.
Episode three?
We see him. Yeah.
Yeah, so when they're in that room, when Obi-Wan goes in there, watch it in with the subtitles, and it's like Ned-0 or something.
Ned. So Japanese Ned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was literally gonna
Oh,
say
a
I was literally
middle.
gonna say that. Yeah. Dude, I thought the droid was sick. And you know what's weird is I don't know why. You know, I complained about episode 4 hitting me with Fallen Order vibes, but when we get the K2SO sacrifice, I'm like, oh no, I'm all for it. I don't know how to explain that.
You
Evan,
like-
And we
you
get
know how to
some
explain
Force Unleashed vibes too later in this episode.
Oh,
All
we, yeah,
we're
We'll
getting
get to
there.
that.
we getting there.
Yeah, let's fast forward then.
The loader droid, yeah, we'll get to
get
the
there.
duel, and then we'll start. The loader shields her as his last circuit, and he falls. Tala with her DL-44 hits the door panel and closes the door, leaving Kenobi out. With a thermal detonator in her hand, unlike Leia in Return of the Jedi, she actually is able to explode it. Hopefully,
Yeah, she's
she
no
takes
wuss.
some troopers with her.
Yeah, man, she did an Allah Akbar, blew herself up.
Yep.
Why wouldn't
For
you
sure.
throw it though?
Man.
Yeah, why
like,
did she
Why
hold
wouldn't
on
you
to it?
throw it?
Yeah.
Like,
May the force be
come
with
on,
you.
like you can get throw
Right.
it, throw that thing. Oh, Kano's lost.
Yeah, I got it now.
Yeah.
With the thermal detonator in her hand, hopefully she took troopers with her. Vader commands Reva to stand down. Back to our Clone Wars flashback. Anakin has Obi on the ropes. Quote, "There's no way out, Master," end quote. Back to Jabim. Obi lays down his weapons. Why? To surrender to Vader. Quote, "Inform Lord Vader, Kenobi is ours," says Reva. The two exchange whispers. "You're not bringing him to me," as you heard at the beginning of our episode. "I'm bringing him to you. This
I
isn't
love this.
over."
Ugh.
Fantastic.
Obi knows like Anakin's too prideful and arrogant. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
set him up right now.
Freaking General Kenobi.
Foreshadowing in the beginning of the episode, leading to a fruitful middle, and then leading to the end of the episode. What, you got a problem with fruitful? It was pretty descriptive. It was very fruitful. I'm talking ripe plums.
Ripe avocados?
Sure.
Ah,
Is that fruit? Is
hey.
avocado fruit?
Yeah, but close enough.
Close enough.
I don't know, but sometimes you want some guacamole.
Sometimes
Disturbing.
There you go. Evan, where you been with these the whole night, bro? Just throw them in there. Sprinkle them. Sprinkle them. And you know what? Eben probably doesn't know our guac inside joke, so I'm gonna
That's
send
true.
it to you, Evan, and you'll,
Okay.
then
You
you'll
need to
then you'll
know.
get, yeah, you need to know, and then
It was
yeah.
oddly
The
enough we
circle
talked
is now
about
complete.
embarrassing stories. This was one of my embarrassing stories a long
It's
time
one of
ago.
his-
We'll send that
Embarrassing
one
story,
to
yeah,
you after this.
Awesome.
Leia finds the restraining bolt on Lola, which leads her to finding and resetting the proper breaker. The hangar doors are now open. Obi-Wan informs Leia in a warming embrace that unfortunately Tala has fallen.
Yep.
Vader sees the Pathfinders escaping, reaching out with the Force just as Justin brought out in a Force Unleashed typed fashion. He stops the ship in mid-takeoff, bringing the ship back down to the surface and begins ripping the ship apart before it can fly away.
Savagely different than Rey.
Dude.
Badass, dude.
This, sorry, headphone users. This part of the episode, like inappropriate.
This is the Vader. Like
feelings in
this
my
is the Vader.
pants.
Show it to me. Give it to me. Like,
It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
So good.
dude, when he
So good.
not only
Yeah.
ripped it down to the ground, but then just like ripped the entire like vacuum
Like
lock hull
nothing.
section out. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
oh
Like
snap.
nothing.
yeah.
Yeah, it shows you how much power he has at this point in time. It's just like,
Yeah.
like nothing.
does
It's like
not
muscle
care.
memory. Yeah.
Yeah, like Rey was supposed to be powerful when she could barely like slow down a shuttle, and he's like a full-on passenger liner, like yeets it to the ground.
With his robotic arms, he's like, "Arrgh."
Get over here.
Yeah.
What are you doing up there? I'm staying away from you. No, it reminds me, like you said, Justin, something that should be touched on is, I'm not like a huge like Rey Skywalker hater. I'm really not.
No.
She's super strong. She's a Palpatine, and her holding that ship is a feat to be recognized.
Yeah.
But Vader holding a ship that's 3 times its size and then being pulled back down is what has to be recognized.
Oh, yeah.
Like stops it, pulls it down, and then grades it like cheese.
Dude, it was like equivalent of like when your toddler is trying to get away from you and you grab their hand and then you just like snatch them back. You're like, no, like this isn't an option. You're not leaving.
Dude, it was 4:30 a.m. and I was standing in front of the TV going, yes!
Your daughter's like, Dad, I just went to sleep.
Pretty much.
Go back to bed.
My wife is like, what the hell are you doing up?
It was one of those moments where, this moment reminded me of when Bo-Katan shows up in Mando Season 2.
Oh, yeah.
When she lands, and when he did this, I was, same thing, Eban. I was like in the morning early watching it on my TV, and I'm like, yeah! And I'm looking around, there's nobody there, but I'm like, oh, I'm sharing this telepathically with my friends. This is,
Dude,
We're all
was
having the
exciting,
same
too.
moment simultaneously.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's that one dude in all the movies, like SpongeBob, that's always that's exactly what
man.
it was. It was absolutely
That
absolutely
scene was a single-digit bump up in score. That scene alone.
single.
Like if the episode was a 6, that scene would have made it a 7. If it was an 8, that scene could have made it a 9. Like just that scene alone was so fantastic.
So good.
Yeah, 100%. Reaching out with the Force, of course, he pulls down the ship. He rips it apart, and then we go back to our flashback. Weaponless
Hold on.
Obi-Wan.
But where was that second ship the whole time? Like I feel like we should have seen
hold
that.
on, hold on.
No. It was there. It was there.
It was
Oh,
there.
it was? Okay.
Yep,
I saw
was
it.
there the
I saw it the second time I watched it. Yep.
Yep. So, real quick, when they land in the beginning of the episode, there is a second ship, and then as it's taking off, you can see the second ship.
Yep.
Because
Okay.
I had the same problem. I'm like, wait, was that there the whole time? Like, yeah,
I didn't have time to
device.
watch it twice today, so okay, I'm
Yeah.
glad you told me that.
Yeah, it was there, which was really good. Again, for the continuity and everything, it was there the whole time, which was really, really good. As he
Flashback.
pulls it apart, flashback, quote, "You are trying to prove yourself. It will be your undoing." Quote, Obi-Wan. "Until then, a Padawan you shall be." I got to comment on this. Sweeping declaration.
Yeah.
Canon correction right there.
We make sweeping declarations on this podcast, Eban, in reference to How I Met Your Mother.
And they're usually not good. But
They're
go
usually
on.
not good, but I'm making it anyway.
I'm sure they're all fantastic. Actually.
Sweeping declaration. Obi-Wan and Vader do not fight in the next episode. This is the last lesson that Vader ever learns from Obi-Wan. Therefore, keeping the quote from episode 4, "When I left you, I was but the learner, now I am the master," still canon. They do not fight again next episode.
What do you think, Eban?
I don't know, because he was still a Padawan in the flashback, wasn't he?
Correct.
So the last time he saw Anakin, he was a fake Jedi Knight appointed by Sidious. So he was a little bit older already and wiser. Well, supposedly a little bit wiser. I don't know. I think they probably do see each other one more time, and Obi-Wan kicks his ass.
I hope so. I hope so.
So this is the only thing that I can think about, because I was going to save this question till the very end, but we've gotten teased at Star Wars Celebration about another season, which it was a very ambiguous tease. It was very like, oh, I can neither confirm nor deny we're working on season 2. It realistically, it didn't tell us anything. It was a complete teaser.
Yeah.
If this is, because this whole next episode is probably going to give us the big cues of whether this is like a climax ending of the season, or if it's left on a cliffhanger where there's going to be like a, oh, but what about this over here? Like,
Yeah.
this next episode is going to really change things. I think that they have to see each other. There needs to be a more definitive I was but the last time we met you blah 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 whatever. Yeah, there needs to be a more definitive, like it can't be left up to interpretation for me, for what I would think.
The thing that I am still holding on to, and if you're a longtime listener of this podcast, we like to take the context that surrounds everything, not just what was said. Yeah. But I will say that one thing that Kathleen Kennedy said at D23, shout outs to our D23 episode and our Kenobi cast episode, which both correlate. Mm-hmm. She says that this is going to be the rematch of the century. That is a direct quote. She says it at D23, and we have not seen, in my opinion, the rematch of the century yet. So,
but
it's going to be the rematch against Reva and Vader. Watch.
God,
you got us.
Eban the Prophet. Eban the Prophet.
Because all these shows, they throw us off, right? Like Kenobi's not really about Kenobi. It's about Leia. Boba Fett is about to back the tank. It's like I'm pretty sure it's going to be like Reva fighting someone. But yeah, I really hope they do have a rematch with Anakin and Obi-Wan. I would like to see that, and I would like to see Obi-Wan kick his ass.
Yeah, no,
absolutely.
I agree. I keep going back to that first duel, and I would like them to fight again, but I will say that I love the writing in this episode, the directing of this episode, and even how it ends. I still cannot tell you whether we were watching the memories of Kenobi or we were watching the memories of Anakin / Vader. And I think that, again, if we did not see them fight, I don't think anybody would have a leg to stand on to say, oh, the quote's not canon. Like, we literally
I'll agree with that.
A play-by-play of why the quote is still canon. And that's been a big contention with people, is they want that quote to not be taken out.
Yeah.
The only thing that I'll say that why I think that there could be another clash of sabers is from a storytelling point of view. We've obviously been, this whole series has been doing this arc of Obi-Wan reacclimating to the Force. He's regaining his abilities. He's getting stronger. He's kind of reconnecting. For them, to have a foreshadowing scene of him being a dodo and not even knowing what to do facing Vader with a saber, I feel like they need to have the ending to that. We need to see some type of a clash between them, and now through this journey of this season or of this 6-part miniseries that's a one-time whatever it is, there needs to be a finishing moment to show the completion of his journey, and this was not enough for that. I need there to be something a little more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see both sides. Connor does make a good point where learner master mentality, that is one thing, but at the same time it does make episodes 3 clash feel very unsatisfying to not know that they don't at least see each other one more time to clash.
Oh, chapter 3. Okay, you said episode 3. I'm thinking Revenge of the Sith. I'm like, that was a fantastic fight.
Part 3. Excuse me.
I didn't want to interrupt you if you weren't.
No, it was.
I disagree with it not being satisfying though, because again, I love seeing how strong Vader is, and then in this episode again we see that power put on display.
That's true. That's true.
Obi is obviously going to reconnect.
Got his groove back.
I'm super surprised.
Obi gets his groove back. That's a new Obi-Wan gets his groove back. That's the name of this entire series.
Yeah,
it's coming, man. It's coming.
It's coming.
He's getting closer. He's getting closer to it.
He's getting giggity again. See, he needs to know the
climax.
Story. Okay?
Yes.
Climax.
Well, I think you did tell me you liked the Emperor's New Groove, so I kind of get it.
I do. I love the Emperor's New Groove. Underrated.
Cusco's poison, Cusco. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Let's get back
Different
to the recap.
franchise.
Let's get back to the
Leia
recap.
finds the restraining bolt on Lola, which leads her
Oh my God,
into
we're only
find
here.
and resetting the breaker. The hangar doors open. Oh
No. We are not there. We're ripping the ship apart.
Oh, my bad.
Flashback. We've
My
already
bad.
done the flashback.
Yeah, you're right. It got pushed up. Reva
Credits roll.
approaches. Yes, and credits roll. Reva approaches Vader from behind and attacks. Vader dodges Reva's attack one by one, almost Matrix style. To no surprise as us as the audience,
Oh my God.
I loved
Vader
it.
bests Reva.
Got schooled.
Didn't even need a saber.
I love the insult of not using his own saber.
No.
He's like,
And-
here you go.
Yeah. Takes her saber, breaks it in half, and is like, here, try me.
Try me, girl. It's fantastic.
Love it.
The duel, if I had to give a rating,
See,
4
you
out of
didn't
10.
like this. You
4
didn't
out of
like
10.
this.
4 out
And
of 10.
I loved it. I
4 out of
loved
10.
just Vader like being so pompous. Like, please, like just stop. Like you're a mosquito flying around me. I'm gonna swat you down.
I
like
agree completely. But if you okay, so the first time I watched it, I went back on the duel and I watched the duel again, and then I've watched the duel 3 times now. And there are some parts in the duel where I'm like, I'm not feeling
Infinity
the
Bottle.
choreography. I'm not feeling it. I did love the diversity of the Inquisitor sabers. I think
Oh.
Inquisitor sabers are so underrated.
Dude.
People don't like that they spin.
Did
People
just-
don't like that they break apart.
I am not a
Dude, they're
fan.
Sick. I love them.
I am
Fantastic.
a not fan of Inquisitor sabers personally.
Eban,
It's just not.
tell
It's just
us.
not my vibe.
Oh, they're dope,
Tell 'em.
dude.
Take a side.
See, there you go. There
Oh,
you
they're
go.
dope.
Justin, wrong about the Razor Crest. Wrong about Inquisitor
First of all,
sabers.
I am.
Wrong
No, they're
about
dope, dude.
the-
Especially when she started spinning it. I was like, oh shit, she's spinning it.
She's spinning it, and he's like,
It starts slowing it down.
he's like,
Okay,
girl.
the scene where he
Calm
slows
down.
it down
Yeah.
was fantastic.
Yes.
Yes.
It's also a stupid move because you can easily just spin a staff and create the same
Oh.
effect. But
No,
Calm
it's
down.
different. Stop immediately. To no
it
surprise,
was great on Clone Wars. It's not great in realism.
back to the recap, and we'll close this out.
I'm
and then
getting
we'll
you
give
so
our
angry right now.
final
I love it.
thoughts. No, you're not. Well, you know, it's
Spawning
funny that
Patreon episode of Connor. You know why Justin's wrong?
we,
there you go.
Justin, we don't need a Patreon episode of that. We have 3 years of backlogged episodes for that.
Yeah.
Of me proving myself correct, sir.
Gotti, thank you for everybody for joining us this
Oh.
week. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, what? We're done?
No. Finishing up the recap, guys, and then we will give our final thoughts. All right, and then we'll give all this everything it deserves. The real Grand Inquisitor comes in after
Called
we get
it.
this amazing parallel. This amazing parallel of Hayden as Darth Vader stabbing Reva and then him stabbing her again.
Did you
Talk
really
about-
think I didn't know? I
Yeah.
love that.
Call back to episode 3 where she touches her around her stomach where she was
is that
originally
what, is that what you're
stabbed.
thinking it is?
Yes.
Oh, I like
She-
that. I'll
she
take
did
that.
a callback. That was
I think
her
it's a little high though.
Nah,
I like it though.
Yeah,
I'm taking your side.
I think
Unlike
that was
Justin, I'm
that
taking
was
your
her
side.
motivation to continue to
I don't care.
to do her best to hunt Kenobi. That was
Yeah,
her
yeah.
motivation, was getting stabbed there, and we see that from the Grand Inquisitor's words, where he says, you know, revenge.
One
such a great
his
tool.
speech was awesome.
He's-
Go ahead, Justin.
I was just gonna make up a quote that he didn't say, so I stopped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No, I think this is a good talking point with Reva because a lot of people are like, "There it is. She turned to the light." No,
no,
No.
she did not. She did not turn to the light. Turning
She
to the
wanted
light would have been
revenge.
teaming up with Kenobi. Revenge is a path that leads to anger, leads to hate. She is full-fledged in the dark side. She has.
She's in the
truly
dark side,
lost
but
her
she's
way.
not even a Sith because she has regular eyes. Like she's not a Sith. She's a dark side user
She's
as
a
an
dark side
Inquisitor.
user. But
Like,
again,
yeah.
like, well, okay. But guess what? Hayden didn't have Sith eyes when he's killing the younglings.
he did.
He sure as heck did when he was
He-
Vader, though.
No, He becomes Lord Vader, and he doesn't get his Sith eyes until he is on Mustafar.
Yeah.
Check the tapes. Well, he
No, I'm
kills the
agreeing with you.
younglings first. Oh,
Tapes.
No.
He-
That's
tapes.
what I said.
1997.
1997. Check the tapes. Anyway,
Oh, well, I was
right.
talking about armor. I'm sorry. Yeah. Gotcha.
we're summarizing the recap. The real Grand Inquisitor.
We
comes
are
in. Of
off the
course,
rails.
We knew we are super off the rails. Of course, we knew the Grand Inquisitor was not dead. His speech was not bad at all. Dude,
Loved it.
Rupert, great dialogue. He didn't. He
Season
delivered
2
it
villain.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Season 2 villain.
Grand
Loved it.
Inquisitor.
Dude, great villain in season 1 of Rebels. Again, we are a huge proponent on this podcast. If you have not watched Rebels, season 1, I can give it to you. It's a little rough, but it gets better from there. Definitely watch Rebels. Fantastic. On the Pathfinder ship, Kenobi feels a disturbance in the Force. Reva is able to locate the Kenobi communicator that he used to talk to Bail Organa. What does she hear on the message? She hears enough. Tatooine, the children, Owen Lars. The episode then fades to the sleeping Luke on the Owen Lars homestead.
Why was Luke dark-haired there? Isn't
was
Luke
dark.
blonde?
Yes. Kind of.
No,
that was
dirty
he's like me
blonde.
and Jordan.
He's
bro.
like dirty
Yeah,
blonde.
He's all three of us. Yeah, we're. You
It was
know,
dark.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah,
He wasn't in the
I
light.
agree
Yeah.
with Evan.
If Germans were in space.
I don't know. It just that threw me off on that scene for a second. But
Can't say that.
like
Edit that
Aryan
out.
Nation
I will.
podcast.
Oh shit!
No! What did you
No,
You did not just give me something an hour and 20 minutes into this episode to edit out. There's no way you just did that.
I said Arabian Nation.
That's not what you said.
I did. It's like Arabian Nights. It's a dinner show
All right.
in
Reset.
Orlando.
Reset in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, guys.
We're leaving all that in.
So, guys.
We need to
what
get
did
Mr. Computer out.
Any final thoughts?
Listen, if they made it an hour and 22 minutes in, like,
All right,
Congrats,
final
guys.
thoughts. Final thoughts. I will say this. I talked to Justin on my way home from work. He would not stop badgering me. He has no friends, and he kept calling me, so I begrudgingly answered. And so we were talking about Kenobi, and I hate to say this. And Eban, if you feel different, Jordan, if you feel different, Justin, I don't think you feel this strongly, but I don't feel strongly in a bad way. I don't know that the 6th episode will make me feel that we needed this show. We have been talking about this on this podcast for a very, very long time. And that is that we need to move away from the Skywalkers.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because it never hits. And I shouldn't say it never hits. It never hits
too many
right.
individual opinions and wants and desires.
There's a lot when it comes to the Skywalkers, and Star Wars is a big galaxy, guys. We can have plenty of stories, and I feel that this show was very, 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 very hyped up, and we as we always do in the show, we will have a recap where we all combine our episode 1 out of 10s, and we'll see what it lands.
Yeah.
But Book of Boba Fett landed at a 7 out of 10.
And that was generous.
That was.
And
I
that was
thinking
generous.
6.
And the thing too is, like, I was looking at IGN today because they were coming up in my feed, and they gave this episode a 7 out of 10.
What?
And
What?
I'm like, y'all gave this a 7 out of 10, and then I'm looking at, like, they gave Umbrella Academy season 3 a 9 out of 10.
What?
And then they're giving Stranger Things also an 8 out of 10. But I'm not surprised either.
No.
Like, I don't know the word. I feel that we are lacking in the writing department in Star Wars. And I'm not going to say the fandom is not to blame. Move away from the Skywalkers.
Yeah,
Move away.
because
I thought this chapter was
Preach,
closed,
preach.
man.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought this chapter was closed after what was that? Rise of Skywalker. I thought we were done.
Yeah.
So them announcing this show, I was like, well, we don't really need it. I don't know if you guys watch Hyperdrive's Star Wars channel on Sundays.
Yeah.
But when we did the whole Book of Boba Fett, we were all like done with Book of Boba Fett. And then when we heard about this show, we're just like, oh man, it wasn't needed. Like me going into this show, I had very, 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 very low expectations on it, and that's probably why I'm enjoying it, because I had like zero expectations about the show. But it's proven to be better than I thought it was going to be. I'm actually happy with it. Some of my counterparts on Hyperdrive don't like it, but everybody's entitled to their own opinions, and that's what makes this fun, because we get to talk about it.
For sure, in a wholesome way. I don't
Right.
mean to take away anybody's joy. I'm
Yeah.
just expressing.
Well-
no, hang on.
Go-
Jordan had something.
No. Justin, go.
Well, I mean, Connor, you and I were, when we were both driving home from work and we were talking, I was saying that I think that things like The Mandalorian are like taken so positively because we don't have 40 years, 45 years, going on 50 years on some things of
Yep.
all of these preconceived notions of what this character was, what he means to you, what his choices do, and then a whole bunch of EU novels, comics, everything else of what they do after the fact that we're comparing stuff to. Like we have a fantastic Kenobi novel of him being in isolation on Tatooine.
That's fantastic, man. That book.
And it's great. And you can't not compare it to this. Like you can't not if you've read it. Like if you're a Star Wars fan.
I was gonna say only if you haven't read it, and not that you are not a Star Wars fan if you haven't read it. It's just if you have read it, it's very hard to not compare it to that novel.
And that's why I think that Andor is going to be fantastic. That's why I think
1,000%.
It's new material.
Mandalorian has done amazing. I think Ahsoka can be. I mean, it's very late gen. It's new gen Star Wars. So there's not a ton of people that have like this long track history of preconceived things, but she is a very developed character. But the creator of the character is involved. So I think that can be awesome. Like, we need more of these stories. Like, that is what Star Wars needs to shift into.
I don't know if I said this on the episode of Spice Runners, but if you have made it this far in the episode, first of all, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Second of all, this is going to be at the point where Jon Favreau has received his promotion. So if this show's not doing it for you, from
Master
here
storyteller.
on out, everything is going to be executive produced by Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it is a big telltale. And I'm not writing off the series by any means. I enjoyed that we got new Star Wars. I've enjoyed pretty much everything that I've seen. There are some things that I will go back and watch. I want new Star Wars. Unfortunately, this does not give me the new Star Wars vibes.
Well, my number one... I'll let you go after this, Jordan. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's
my number one irritation is when people say things like, "This is not the story we are owed," and it's because they have this long history of like what they think they want. That is what we need to get away to, like, create new fans. Like, you can't have this like, I'm owed this because I've listened to it, I've read it, I've watched it for choose your amount of years. Like, new stories are amazing. Like, let's stop retelling stories of the same 12 people.
Yep, exactly. And I have enjoyed this series a lot, minus episode 4, which felt very filler. But the problem with all the characters that are in this story that we know is we know where they end up. We know where Vader's going to be. We know Obi-Wan and him dying. We know Luke and Leia. We know all of these characters.
We know where every single one dies. Literally everybody.
Yeah, we know everybody's story. So having this backstory is great, but it doesn't build on the world that we know.
It does, but it's not.
It doesn't.
We can't say that it doesn't. It's just we want new Star Wars.
Yeah,
and this doesn't feel like new Star Wars.
We want new stories.
We want new stories.
Yes, and I like the backstory, and I like the extra detail that they're adding. But again, to you guys, one of the reasons why originally I wasn't crazy about WandaVision was like, well, Vision's dead. Why are we watching a story about him? and it ended up being something different, but it was still the same mentality. We know Kenobi's going to die. Why are we watching a story about him? So new Star Wars content and new stories is something that we definitely want.
Episode 6 could bring a lot to the table.
Yes, very
Episode 6 could bring a lot to the table. And maybe there's a tiny bit of discussion of, do we want Star Wars content week by week, or do we want Star Wars content in the Netflix fashion where we get everything as a whole?
true. Oh,
Binged.
Yes.
So,
No.
Justin, how do you want it?
I want it weekly.
Weekly? Eben, how do
Yeah,
you want
100%.
Weekly, same, man. I like the anticipation.
I want to just knock it out.
You know what sucks when that happens though is when
That's
somebody
what she
watches
said.
it before you.
That's very true, and that happens to me a lot.
I don't have it. That was pretty good, though. Yeah, that was pretty good,
I
though.
was like, you know what? Evan's my new favorite person.
Yeah. You know, I'm really, as somebody, so Ted Lasso's a great example. Me and the wife visited that show late,
Yeah.
but I still throttled how we watched it because I'm not a binge person. But I would like the ability to see what happens next.
2-3 episodes.
So, like, if episode 4, which I didn't like, and I immediately saw episode 5, I'd be like, okay, I'm back on the train.
Exactly.
So I had
Yeah.
to go through a week of turmoil where I'm like, oh my gosh, this show is over. Star Wars is dead. What are we going to do? Like,
Understatement.
you know, like, oh, my world is
Jeez.
collapsing. And then we get this episode, and I'm like, okay, we're back.
We're good.
We're good.
We back.
We're at the caboose, but we're walking to the snack
You're such a
cart.
millennial. Dear
You know,
God. Such
Justin,
a millennial.
don't even.
You freaking boomer.
Don't even. We're off kilter here. We're not in the middle.
I don't
We're
Let's make this
the
a
guys
2-hour
who
episode.
We're like the guys who announced the pod racer thing. Can I get a la, 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 la. Yeah, there you go.
And here comes Sebulba.
So, Anakin's anyway. All right. I think we wrapped this up.
We need to.
Yeah, I think we wrapped this up.
need to.
Fantastic episode.
Yes.
I loved it. Mm-hmm. Go. You.
Yeah. It was a fantastic episode.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for being here. Evan, plug. Tell us where
Plug
we
it.
can find you.
So, YouTube, every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we have a show called Spice Winners Lounge where we hang out, drink, talk dang ferric. Sundays, I'm on Hyperdrive. It's 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern. We talk everything Star Wars. So currently they're doing Wednesday recap, Kenobi, and then Sundays we're doing collectors, collecting updates. Other than that, Instagram, Eban the Collector, Eban the Collector, and then
And TikTok.
TikTok too. I forget about that one. I've been
TikTok's
going back
the
in
big
there
one.
lately. Yep. So Eban the Collector on TikTok as well. So yeah, I've been trying to post stuff there. Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. Perfect.
Justin,
Dude.
wrap it up for us.
This is a great show. Eben, you are the best guest of this week by far.
Oh, thanks, man. Am I the only guest this week?
He got the joke.
We're not going to talk about that. Guys, thank you very much for joining us this week on Concon's Cantina. Look, I know it was long, but if you made it this long, we appreciate you. We appreciate you patrons. We appreciate
Dylan,
you
we know
guys.
you're here. We know you're here, Dylan.
We know you're here, Dylan.
Yes.
Listen, all you guys, seriously, Kenobi exceeding our expectations with this episode, okay? Episode 6, of course,
it up.
we're hoping it's gonna be a banger. And guys, don't forget, of course, we are going to do a season wrap-up where we talk about the season as a whole, give our ratings, and give our final review on it.
Ooh.
We got a lot of new Star Wars coming up. And
Look
don't
out.
forget. Yes?
Look out for our new lightsabers. We have
Yes.
2 brand new lightsabers from Space Junk Sabers, freshly
Yes.
delivered. Upcoming episode, we are going to reveal them. We have never seen them. I've seen Connor's. Connor's seen mine.
Yes.
We
If
have
you
not
don't
seen
know,
these suckers.
Me and Justin both commissioned custom lightsabers.
That's gonna be a fun
we haven't
episode.
seen it. We
It's
have
gonna
no
be a
idea what they look
Fun
like.
episode.
There's nothing
and
like
I'm gonna-
spending $1,000 and not knowing what you just bought.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't wait for
Don't
this
bring it
sword
up.
fighting.
We're gonna see how it is. Guys,
Don't bring it up.
I was your boy, it's Concon. Sitting to my left,
The Casual Kid.
sitting across from me virtually, the other host,
Justina's Cantina.
and our guest.
Eban the Collector.
We'll catch you guys next time.
Later.